Hello, children. As we move on with our online classes today, I am going to share this beautiful story of the ailing planet by Nani Palkiwala. This is the right time, I feel, to read this story amidst all this corona pandemic. The ill health or our ailing, sick planet has to face this all today. We have to go through this all because of our greed and our ignorance towards nature. It is therefore well said that our earth provides enough to satisfy everybody's need, but not everybody's greed. Why? Due to insensitive exploitation by humans for their survival and development, the earth has lost almost all its vital resources today. With drying rivers, polluted environment, and deteriorated forests and greenery, the earth is now breathing hard for its survival, and that is why it is called a sick planet or an ailing planet. Nani Palkhiwala. Nani Palkhiwala was born in Bombay to middle class Parsi parents. We can see how beautifully he has raised the most vital question of the whole decade: how our planet is becoming more and more ailing day by day. And who are responsible? We ourselves. But the realization is far away from reality. So as we move on, let us begin with the expressions in the text where we have been asked to find out their meanings. A holistic and ecological view means an all-round development and environment friendly view. Sustainable development means continued development or everlasting development. Languish means degenerate or to lose life slowly. Ignominious darkness, disgraceful ignorance. Ignominious means disgraceful. Darkness here doesn't stand for light and dark, it stands for ignorance. Inter alia means among other things. Decimated means wiped out. Catastrophic depletion means extremely harmful. Depletion means slowly consuming something. Slowly it is finishing off. Depletion means slowly we are finishing off something. Transcending means exceeding or overgrowing. Concern or worries. So now we move on with the chapter. I hope you have understood the expressions. These expressions you will find in the chapter. So as and when we find the expressions, I have already shared the meanings with you. So you will please rewind the video, and if you are able to remember, you can carry on. So we move on with the chapter, with the lesson. One cannot recall any movement in world history which has gripped the imagination of the entire human race so completely and so rapidly as the Green Movement, which started nearly 25 years ago. So I am going to put special emphasis on the Green Movement because this is a very important question that is there every year in more or less every test. The Green Movement had begun nearly 25 years ago in 1972 in New Zealand, and this was given such a great attention, such a great importance that this movement has never looked back ever since then. Which movement? The Green Movement. We have shifted our hopes irrevocably, means invariably, from the mechanistic view to the holistic and ecological view of the world. What do we mean here? After the Green Movement, now we have shifted our hopes. Our hopes means our dreams, our positivity on what? On a holistic and ecological view of the world, not on the mechanistic view. Mechanistic view is what kind of view, children? Mechanistic view is a view that ignores emotional realities in people's lives. There is no place for emotional values. There is no place for emotional realities. So that becomes mechanistic view. But we have now shifted this kind of view to a more balanced, to a more holistic, means all round development of the planet, all round development of our environment, and ecological view. Ecological means based on the environment. It is a shift in human perceptions as revolutionary as introduced by Copernicus, who taught mankind in the 16th century that the earth and the other planets revolved round the sun. For the first time, again an important point to be noted, for the first time in human history, there is a growing worldwide consciousness that the earth itself is a living organism, an enormous being of which we are parts. It has its own metabolic needs and vital processes which need to be respected and preserved. Just imagine that now the ozone layer is slowly getting closed. Why? Because we have allowed the earth to pay attention to its own needs. We have allowed the earth to pay attention to its own vital processes. We have respected the earth's metabolism now. We have respected the earth's property, the feelings of the earth, and now that is why the ozone layer is slowly getting closed. And for the first time in human history, this is the first and the worst that has and that could have ever happened to our planet, this corona pandemic. And we are responsible for it. Each and every moment we are cursing ourselves, but at the same time there is a learning that we are learning, a big learning that we are taking from this corona pandemic, that yes, we need our earth to be respected, we need our earth to be preserved. And with that we move on. The earth's vital signs reveal a patient in declining health. The vital signs of the earth, it reveals all the signs. They reveal a patient in declining health. We have now begun to realize after this pandemic, now I am relating this pandemic every now and then because I find this chapter very relevant, very important to the current situation. And that is why I am giving the example of corona right from the beginning. We have begun to realize our ethical obligations to be good stewards of the planet and responsible trustees of the legacy to future generations. All the vital signs of the earth reveal a patient in declining health. But now we have begun to realize our moral obligations to be good guardians of the planet. Stewards means to be the good holders, to be the good owners of the planet, and be responsible trustees, to be the good people of the legacy to the future generations. We have to be responsible. We have to respect the earth's natural resources, and so that we hand over the richness, the legacy of our earth to our future generations too. We do not hand them an empty, a sick, a polluted, a declining planet. We do not hand them a gift like that. We hand over this earth with all its richness to our future generations. The concept of sustainable development was popularized in 1987 by the World Commission on Environment and Development. So when did that word sustainable development come? Sustainable development, what is the meaning of this word? Sustainable development means the development that meets the needs of the present. The development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future generation to meet their needs. What do I mean? I mean that whatever we are using right now, in the same way, we would like our future generation also to use the same resources in the same luxurious manner. Because our earth has got, as I have said before, again I'm repeating myself, our earth has got enough to meet the needs of all of us, generations after generations, but not our greeds. So with whatever bounty we have got, let this bounty be handed over in the same fashion, in the same way to our future generation. So this concept of sustainable development was popularized. In the zoo at Lusaka, Zambia, there is a cage where the notice reads the world's most dangerous animal. Inside the cage, there is no animal. At Lusaka in Zambia, there is a zoo, and inside a cage, there is a notice that reads the world's most dangerous animal. And inside the cage, when we peep into the cage, we do not find any dangerous animal. Nobody is there, not a single animal is there. Only there is a mirror, and in that mirror, you see yourself. What do you see? You see yourself in the mirror. So man has realized that he is the most dangerous animal in the world. He has realized the wisdom of shifting from a system based on domination to one based on partnership. So now he is not going to dominate anymore. No, he has now entered into a relationship that is coexisting, the coexistence of animals and mankind together. That will foster, that will boost, that will promote the existence of partnership between mankind and the animal world. Right. Scientists have catalogued about 1.4 million living species with which mankind shares the earth. Estimates vary widely as regards the still uncatalogued living species, because we have not been able to catalog each and every living species. So the estimates are still different. Estimates are not exactly correct. It is just estimated. Biologists reckon that there are 3 to 100 million living species still languish. They are dying a slow death. Languishing means slow death. They are slowly dying away because we have not been able to identify these species. Unnamed, they go unnamed in ignominious darkness. They are unnamed, they are unfound, they have been undiscovered. Why? Because we have not been able to discover, we have not been able to tag, we have not been able to locate all the species, all the living species, and they perish, they die in ignominious darkness. They perish in ignominious, what did I say? Disgraceful. Disgraceful darkness here is ignorance of the mankind. One of the early international commissions which dealt inter alia, what did I say, children? Among other things, with the question of ecology and the environment was the Brand Commission. Brand Commission is very important, very, very important, and lots of important questions can be there on Brand Commission. The first Brand report raised the question, are we to leave our successors a scorched planet? The first Brand report raised the question, are we going to leave our successors a scorched, a burnt planet of advancing deserts, impoverished landscapes and ailing environment? Are we going to leave our successors with a scorched planet, with a burnt planet, with advancing deserts are becoming more, impoverished landscapes are impoverished, they are undernourished, and ailing environment and sick environment. Mr. Lester R. Brown, in his thoughtful book, The Global Economic Prospect, points out that the Earth's principal biological systems are four. Now, here also there is an important question that can be given to you. What are the four principal biological systems and who has pointed it out? The Mr. Lester R. Brown has pointed it out that the Earth's principal biological systems are four: fisheries, forests, grasslands, and croplands. These four biological systems are the foundation of the global economic system. In addition to supplying our food, these four systems provide all the raw materials for industry except minerals and petroleum derived synthetics. In large areas of the world, human claims on these systems are reaching an unsustainable level, a point where their productivity is being impaired. We have been continuously squeezing these four resources so much. The fisheries, the grasslands, the forests, and the croplands. We have been squeezing them over and over again for our development, for our progress. And that is why these systems are reaching a productivity kind of level where the productivity is completely zero. They are reaching an unsustainable level where the productivity is impaired, it is becoming zero. When this happens, as soon as the productivity becomes zero, fisheries collapse, forests will disappear, grasslands will be converted to barren wastelands. Barren means empty wastelands, and croplands will deteriorate. In a protein conscious and protein hungry world, overfishing, now we are becoming over and over protein conscious, and so in this protein conscious and protein hungry world, overfishing is becoming common. Every day overfishing is going on. In poor countries, local forests are being killed. Decimated means killed. In poor countries, why local forests are being killed? Because of the wood, and that wood is necessary for cooking. So in some places, firewood has become so expensive because the wood is becoming less and less. So in some places, firewood has become so expensive that what goes under the pot now costs more than what goes inside it. So what is going under the pot? The wood is going under the pot, exactly, isn't it? So that has become more costly than what is going inside the pot. Inside the pot, what do we have? Rice. Inside the pot, what do we have? Food. So firewood is becoming more costly than the food. Why? Because we are decimating the forests. We are killing the forests in order to procure firewood. So Dr. Myers, the powerhouse of evolution, in the words of Dr. Myers, the powerhouse of evolution, several species of life face extinction. So lots of extinction will be there. Why? Because of this destruction of forests. It has been well said, the forests precede mankind, deserts follow. The world's ancient patrimony of tropical forest is eroding, is becoming less and less. Patrimony means previously we started with tropical forest, and that is becoming less and less nowadays. Okay, the World Bank estimates that a 5-fold increase in the rate of forest planting is needed, not 1 or 2, but a 5-fold increase has to be there to cope with the expected fuel wood demand in the year 2000. 2000 is long gone by. So 5-fold might have become 10-fold right now. If it had not become 10-fold, we would not have faced this pandemic at all. We are still far, far away from the realization of our dream that Earth has to be taken care of. Earth has to be respected. We are still far, far away, and that is why the nature is now taking its vengeance, its revenge on mankind, because we have been continuously worrying nature so much. The nature is now terribly upset and taking its own way to heal itself. It is a kind of revenge, it is a kind of vengeance that the nature is taking on us. It is trying to heal itself by its own. James Peth, the president of the World Resources Institute, said the other day, we were saying that we are losing the forests at an acre a second, but it is much closer to an acre and a half to a second. What is an acre? Acre is nothing. It is much, much more, acre and a half to a second. Article 48A of the Constitution of India provides that the state shall endeavour to protect and improve and to safeguard the forest and the wildlife of the country. But alas, nothing has happened. Means we have not been able to safeguard. We have not been able to safeguard the forest and wildlife of our country. But what causes endless anguish? But what is the failure? The failure is that laws are never respected nor enforced in India. Laws are only for the pen and paper. It is only there in the books. They are never respected nor enforced in India. A recent report of a Parliament's Estimates Committee has highlighted the near catastrophic depletion of India's forest over the last 4 decades. Near catastrophic depletion means extremely harmful consumption of the India's forests over the last 4 decades. We are becoming virtually treeless. Right, children, we are almost becoming treeless now. And what is the main reason for all this calamity, for all this disaster? There is no doubt that the growth of world population is one of the strongest factors distorting the future of the human society. So world population is one of the strongest factors. And how can we control the world population? What awareness can be spread? We can only spread education. As education spreads, automatically health will improve. As the health will improve, education will spread, incomes will also start rising. And with education and health and income rising, fertility will automatically come down. The mindset of the people will automatically change, and the people will be respectful towards the resources of the earth. Thus, development is the best contraceptive. We cannot ask for any medical contraceptive here. What can we ask for? We can only ask for our own development, our educational development, not any other kind of medical contraceptive to stop population control. But development itself may not be possible if the present increase in numbers continues. So, we do not want any other medical contraceptive. We only want education. That can be our best contraceptive. And now we move on. The rich will automatically get richer. The poor will beget children, which condemns them to remain poor. Why this mindset is not changing? Why it is not changing? Because the poor are uneducated. They think that the more children there are in the family, the more income it is for them. But this education will help them to realize that more children does not mean more workers, but it means more people without work. Right? And we move on. For the first time in human history, we see a transcending concern, an overgrowing concern for the first time in human history. The survival, not just of the people, but of the planet. Now, after this pandemic, this has become ever so true. Now we are not thinking only of ourselves, but we are also thinking of the planet. We have begun to take a holistic view of the very basis of our existence. Now we have begun to take a holistic and all-round view of the very basis of our own existence. The environmental problem does not necessarily signal our demise. It is our passport for the future. The environmental problem, it is not necessarily our death, but it is our passport. It is our passport for the future. And that is why we need to pay attention to the environmental problem. The emerging new world vision has ushered in the era of responsibility. What is the era of responsibility. It is a holistic view, an ecological view, seeing the world as an integrated whole rather than in parts. You have to see the world as a whole, not in bits and pieces. Industry has a most crucial role to play in this new era of responsibility. Industry has got a most important role to play in this new era of responsibility. What is the era of responsibility? It is an all-round view. It is a sustainable view. It is an ecological view to see the world as a complete whole. I am repeating the era of responsibility because it is also an important question to be paid attention to. And industry has got a most crucial role to play in this era of responsibility. Water transformation would be affected if more businessmen shared the view of the chairman of DuPont, Mr. Edgar S. Woolard, who 5 years ago declared himself as the company's chief environmental officer. And he was very much into the favor of continued existence as a leading manufacturer requires that we excel in environmental performance. So he was highlighting environmental performance that will lead to sustainable development. Until and unless we favor our environment, until and unless we respect our environment, sustainable development will not be there, and our future generation will have to face what? Languishment. Future generation will have to perish. Future generation will be dying a slow death. They will never be able to enjoy the richness, the blessings of the earth. Of all the statements made by Margaret Thatcher during the years of her prime ministership, none has passed so decisively into the current coin of English usage as her felicitous words. No generation has a free hold on this earth. Mark the words of Margaret Thatcher. Now listen very carefully. No generation has a free hold on this earth. We are not going to take our earth for granted. It is not a free gift. All we have is a life tenancy with a full repairing lease. We just have got a life, a duration with a full repairing lease. We have got to repair. We have got to repair the earth. The wounds, the emptiness, the use that we constantly do on this earth, in the way we are using the earth, we have to give it back so that we understand that earth is not a free gift to us. We have not inherited this earth from our forefathers. It is not our parental property. It is not a kind of inherited property from our forefathers. In the words of Lester Brown, we have not inherited this earth from our forefathers, but we have borrowed it from our children. So, if you borrow something from your children, if we borrow something from you all, we will be preserving it. We will be holding it preciously. In the same way, we have to hold our earth preciously so that we understand the value and the richness and the blessings of the earth that is showered on us. Right? So with this we end the chapter. I hope you have understood, and we are going to look ahead to a better world and to a better life. We need all of us to participate in this creation, in the realization of this dream. Please participate. Participate in the sense, do your part for this ailing planet. That's all. Have a nice day. Enjoy the learning. Thank you.